East of Paris, in the Seine-et-Marne department, between the royal residence of Vincennes and Fontainebleau, stands a small 17th century chateau. Its name, Vaux le Vicomte. In 1641, a young 26-year-old parliamentarian, Nicolas Fouquet, purchased a manor house there. It would take him 15 years to turn it into a unique masterpiece. The chateau and its garden would become the most beautiful in France. It's also true that he chose three of the most renowned artists of the time, the architect Vaux, the painter Lebrun, and the landscapist Lenoir. When Fouquet was appointed Minister of Finance, he organized a sumptuous feast at Vaux le Vicomte. It was the mistake of his life. For the madly jealous king, Louis XIV, it was an unbearable insult. A fortnight later, Fouquet was arrested. He would die in prison some 15 years later. Voltaire summed up the consequences of this famous feast. On August 17th at 6 o'clock in the evening, Fouquet was the King of France. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he was nothing.
In 1661, the young King Louis XIV wanted to get away from Paris. On one of his father's former hunting lodges, he decided to build what would become the biggest palace in Europe, Versailles. The greatest architects of that time granted the Sun King's wishes. Symbol of his power and of the luxurious life in the court, this huge palace has beautiful apartments and gardens. The Royal Chapel, a masterpiece of French classical art, is decorated with paintings, white marble, and gilded stuccos. Finished in 1770 for Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette's wedding, the opera is totally made of wood. At that time, it used to receive the most beautiful shows of the kingdom. On the first floor, the big royal apartments are sumptuously decorated. Prestigious ceremonies used to take place there. The Galerie des Glaces is the masterpiece of Versailles, with 17 big mirrors facing large arched windows through which the sunlight enters at the end of the day. There is also a unique view of the French-style gardens. Partly drawn by Lenoir, the geometrical layout and the fantastic perspectives make these gardens very particular. Supplied with water by a big and complex irrigation system, the fountains are decorated with bronze statues that shape real water sculptures. Part of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the excessiveness of the structure and works of the Palace of Versailles always amazes visitors.